And we're back, guys. Three Dudes of Horror. I'm Worm Boy.
And Damien.
And Debbie.
We're one dude short this week.
Yeah, Toots is not here today.
One dude is busy, so he couldn't make it tonight. But we're just doing a podcast tonight about our experience at the Alamo City Comic Con in San Antonio, the Halloween edition. We're just going to talk about our experience there and what we saw, what we wished we could have seen, etc.
Yeah, and initially I hadn't bought a ticket to see the main attraction there, which was Freddy Krueger, of course.
Robert
Englund. And I was gonna buy one once I was there, but I mean, he wasn't there, of course. But it was a big disappointment for a lot of people. I think it's the main reason why I think there wasn't that many people there.
Yeah.
Compared to how much I think there should have been. But a lot of people that were talking about, especially the staff, they're like, man, it would have been good if he was here and this and that. But I mean, I saw the video online. I don't know if y'all saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
So, I mean, he was hurt, and at least he had the courtesy to tell us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, we were standing outside in the cold when we found out that Robert Englund had an accident. He fell down the stairs and he hit his head, and so the doctors said that they didn't want him to fly, so he wasn't able to show up to the HorrorCon after all, and we were really disappointed, but we're glad that he's okay though. And yes, it was really, really nice of him to make that video. I mean, he was literally in bed with a swollen, bruised eye, just had fallen down the stairs, and still cared about his fans enough to make a video and apologize for not being able to show up. But he does promise that he's going to come next year, so hopefully we'll be able to see him and meet him next year.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't fall down the stairs again.
That made me want to
Once
meet
is
him.
enough. Once is enough.
But that's how you know, like, he's actually a genuinely nice guy. Like,
Yeah.
that he took the time to do that. But I remember, like, we were already all excited. Like, we did not know that he wasn't going to be there until we were standing in line at the door waiting to get
Yes.
Yeah.
in. And then, like, some dude in front of us in line, like, just turned all of a sudden and said, hey, look at this. And he's, like, showing us on his phone. Like, he's not going to be here. Like, Robert Englund's not going to, because we had just talked to him about what we were going to get signed and how we were excited we were about meeting him. And it was a lot of, like, anxiety already, because this was the first time that my wife and I had ever used Uber.
Really?
to get there.
Oh, wow.
To get to the convention. And it was the first time I was ever going to be in the Alamo Dome. I had never actually been in there before.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
So we were literally standing in line to get in, and that's when we find out that he wasn't going to be there. But, I mean, it was
for a good reason. It wasn't just because, he didn't feel like coming after all, so.
But, I mean, we actually, it turned out to be a pretty good night, though, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
we still got to talk to Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to talk to any of them, but I did get a chance to take pictures of most of them. And, you know, for the most part, from a distance, I did see them, like, most of them, like Linda Blair, Tom Noonan,
Yeah.
I believe he was there too. They all seem very nice, but there was the part where, because I went Saturday and you guys went on Friday.
Yeah.
On Saturday they had a panel of the Monster Squad panel, and it was, I don't know what, there was a point in it where I was like browsing through some action figures. I'm like, oh, that one looks cool, and then I heard them, oh, the panel, and they were all out there, and for some reason Tom Noonan to me was like, I don't know, maybe he was tired or something, but he seemed like he was out of it, or maybe his age. I mean, I don't know what it is, but he was just making this comment, like, you know, like, and he was very calm about it. He was like, you know, the way to get these kids nowadays, you know, you gotta start them off when they're little, and, you know, gotta show them this movie when they're little, because if you show it to them when they're older, like teenager, then they're not really gonna get it. but that never give up on your dreams, and if we could do it, with such a low budget and blah blah blah. And I was just like, what is he talking about? Like,
Turned it into an inspirational speech.
yeah, and I forgot the girl that was talking to him was like, yeah, I agree, and this and that, and I think the little girl that played, what's her name?
Phoebe?
Yeah, Phoebe was the one also going along with it.
Ashley Bank.
But it seemed like he was just going in circles, and I just like...
He was like, somebody rescue me.
Pretty much.
Somebody step in and start talking.
When we met him, he seemed really shy. And
Oh.
I think that a lot of actors, when you meet them in person, it kind of throws you off when they're nervous and shy meeting strangers, because you would think that they wouldn't be, because they come out in so many movies and millions of people have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the same thing, because those are lines that you practice, and somebody tells you what to say.
Right.
And so when you're on a panel like that, it's just, whatever comes to mind. You'd have no idea what questions they're going to ask you. And so I kind of get why they would be nervous, because there's nothing to practice.
Yeah.
So.
And then, of course, they were asking them questions that they weren't sure what they were going to ask. Like, the fans were asking questions. But I thought it was a good con. I think they had a lot of great stuff. For me, the biggest thing I got from it was the action figures, because I'm an action figure guy.
Junkie.
I like to collect them. But I remember there was one point where I was like, man, I want to get all the Jason action figures, because they had the ones from, I believe, from part 1 all the way to part 5 or 6, and of course they were really expensive, so I just bought one. And the one I liked the most was the one from the video game Friday the 13th, the original one, the NES one. And the cool thing about it is, and I'll show it to you guys later, when you open the box, the song plays from the video game, which is
really? That's cool.
It's a creepy
That's
song,
awesome.
and I still love that. But that's one of the big finds I found there.
We were losing our minds with all the memorabilia and the vendors. Like, it's like you said, like, if I had the money, I would buy all of this shit.
Yeah.
Like the throw pillow, we saw the throw pillows.
Oh, I saw those.
Yeah.
Those were awesome.
With all the slashers on there,
Yeah.
and then what you were talking about, Worm Boy, with the guy that did the wax sculpture.
Oh yeah, that guy was awesome, and he was really nice too.
There was the wax sculpture of Cheech that looked particularly. It looked so good that it looked creepy. It looked like his actual face, that like Leatherface had cut off or something.
Yeah.
I was like, that actually looks like Cheech. Like, that's scary.
And then the prices weren't that expensive for the quality. I was like $150, I believe, for the Jason one. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks really cheap, and not the product, but the price. I think the cheapest thing that guy had was the box. I don't know if you saw it, the Jason box.
Mm-mm.
It's like it was a wooden box, and it had like on top of it had like blood, but like wax blood, and
wow.
like the face,
Oh, we didn't see
the
that.
face of Jason. It looked cool.
That one, the wax sculpt. What did we ended up just buying? Like, we kept it simple in terms of the memorabilia.
Yeah, we just bought those
The little stuffed.
horror pins.
Oh,
We got little pins of Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster and Wolfman, and the little stuffed Ghostface and stuffed Jason Voorhees.
Yeah. Well, because we went more to meet
Robert Englund.
the people.
Well, we should mention about Linda Blair, that it was awesome
Yeah, she's really, really nice.
that you were totally connecting with her, because she's like an animal lover.
Oh, yes. Well, all of her proceeds that day, well, the whole weekend, are going to go to her foundation that she has, the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation. And it's to raise money and awareness for animals. I think that it's mainly dogs, and they help rescue them and try to find them homes and things like that. So all of the proceeds, 100%, went to that.
That is awesome.
And I was telling Linda Blair, like, yeah, my wife actually like takes care of the strays in our neighborhood, and she was like genuinely like thankful when we said that. Like her reaction was like, "Thank you very much." She's like, it's so hard to find people that actually like care and help out. Like, she actually seemed genuinely thankful. It was crazy. And then I have to mention, like, it was a big deal for me to meet Chris Sarandon from Fright Night, Jerry Dandridge from Fright Night. That was the first one that we met.
And the voice of Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas.
How was he?
No, well, the thing is, he was kind of running his. I guess I don't know. Like, it was when he had just arrived. I think we were like the third people, and we were the third group in line.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just sort of, he would give you the fist bump, and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, so y'all want the autograph and the picture?" And he's like, "All right," like, and that was it. Like, I was kind of bummed out that I didn't actually get to talk to him that much.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, just to, shake the guy's hand, take a picture with him, get an autograph, like, it was really something for me. And then, of course, like, Linda Blair, that was crazy. Like, that was surreal.
Yeah, to me, she was the most friendly. And
Yeah.
She was the only one that I saw that really took a lot of time to talk to each one of the fans that was going out there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just kind of like, let's keep the line moving kind of thing that I saw with a lot of other celebrities that were there. She was the only one that was really taking her time talking to people and answering their questions. And when you would take a picture with her, she was like, "Oh, check it and make sure it came out good," Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, "Hurry, take a picture and let's go." Like, she was like, "Take a couple and make sure they came out nice,"
And the thing is, with Robert Englund not being there, with Robert Englund not being there, Linda Blair sort of became the most high-profile celebrity.
Yeah, she's the one that took the spot.
Yeah.
But that's awesome that she was nice. I didn't get to meet her or take pictures, but that's awesome to know.
Yeah. She's really, really nice.
And I just think it's cool, like, and it's ironic, like, she was the most high-profile celebrity there, and she was the one that was the most outgoing and, like, gregarious with the fans, and, like, but when we were talking to Tom Noonan, if it was my choice, I would have met everyone from the Monster Squad. They had, like, Duncan Rainier.
It was expensive, no? It was like
Yes.
$40 a pop.
And you could take a
Just
picture.
for the autograph. And then it was extra to take a
The
picture.
You could take a picture with, like, all of them together, I think,
Wow.
if you wanted, but that was, like, super expensive.
And you know what? I know you're going on your... you're going to explain that, but just one little thing about the Monster Squad. After the panel was done, guess what song they played? The one we played on our
Rockin'
previous
till you
podcast.
drop.
Yeah, no, I just couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, sorry. I had to mention that.
We had, when I was talking to Tom Noonan, when we had to decide, like, are we going to meet Duncan Rainier, Dracula, or Tom Noonan, Frankenstein's monster from Monster Squad, and it was like torture to have to pick, but it was like, I understand. But when we were talking to Tom Noonan, I remember he had pictures of like Frankie from Monster Squad, and he had like the Ripper from Last Action Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were talking to him, I actually told him, "Dude, I liked your movie Knockaround Guys, where he was the sheriff." Like,
what do you say?
no, and he was just like, "Oh yeah." He didn't have any pictures from that movie, but I was like. I think that he was actually like all like I guess like surprised like that I said that.
That's a good movie.
But he was nice too. But the one thing I wanted to mention was I really wanted to meet Lance Henriksen, and my wife and I were standing, like, there was no one in line, like, we were standing right there, like, in front of his booth, and the staff that was assigned to him, she was just like, "Oh, well, he's not doing photo ops, he's just doing autographs," and it's like,
what?
yeah, and I was like, dude, really? And I really wanted to meet him, but not if I wasn't going to get a photo op.
What's the point?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the autograph is awesome, but I mean...
And then I got really mad. A friend of mine that was volunteering there posted a picture of herself with him. And I was like, hey, I was like, he took a picture with her. Like, what the hell? Like, I thought he was. I thought he wasn't
That's what I
doing
said.
photo ops. I'm
You
like,
should have gone up there, Debbie.
He looked really mean.
yeah.
But I mean,
I don't remember who he is.
The guy that came out in Pumpkinhead.
He's
Oh,
Bishop. He's Bishop from Aliens.
the one that's well, I don't want to say it on the podcast, but
But
he looks mean.
He looks mean,
Yeah,
right?
he
I
has
mean,
that-
it might just be his face.
He has that
but-
face like
Grumpy old man.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I wanted to meet him though. I love Near Dark, and I loved his character Jesse in Near Dark, and of course Bishop, and I mean the list goes on. It's Lance Henriksen, and then like you said, Pumpkinhead. But I was like, if I'm not gonna get to do a photo op, I'm not gonna pay the money. like that's like the whole thing you can show off, like posing with Lance Henriksen.
And a lot of people are wearing really cool costumes.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of great ones. As soon as I got in on, I think we went around 12 or 1. The Jeepers Creepers guy came out, and man, he looked creepy because he was right by the stairs and it was like kind of dark. But he was taking pictures of the people there. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing there? I was like, oh, he's taking pictures. But my favorite of all the costumes I saw, there was this guy, or I don't know if it was a guy or a girl because it was covered. It was Jack Skellington, like really tall. I'm sure he had like stilts or something to make him taller. But he was tall, but he had all the different parts around his body like a robot. He had armor, but in the armor he had like the dog that comes out in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, like scenes from the movie, or
not scenes, but like parts of it.
Oh, okay.
Like not the full dog, but like maybe just the face. But like an actual, not like a paper, but like, how do I explain it? Like you could see the fur.
Oh, wow.
Then there's another part with the 3 evil ones.
Oh, Lock, Jock, and Barrel.
Yeah, they come out there too, but they're like handmade, and he looked really cool.
So something that he or she made themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's why I liked them most because it was like, oh, it's very different.
That's cool.
And then for one time, I was like, I took pictures and I took video, which I'll post later on our channel. But the thing that creeped me out is that he started following me. I guess because I started filming him, but he wouldn't talk. He was just like, and I was like, what's he doing? So he started following me, and then I eventually just got away from him, and then he started following some other kid, and he just, I think he was doing that on purpose.
He was having fun with the cosplay.
Yeah.
What I liked was Quinn Lord, the kid that played Sam in Trick or Treat.
Oh, yeah.
His booth.
Oh yeah.
His booth was right next to Linda Blair's, and when he showed up, we were already standing in line to meet Linda Blair when he showed up, and then like as soon as he showed up, his line people started gathering up, and there was this lady dressed as Sam, and she walked right up to him.
Oh, it was a lady?
Yeah.
I thought it was a little kid.
And she walked right up to him, and her husband was like, "Hey, this is somebody you might recognize." And then I turned to my wife, I'm like, I've got to take a picture with Sam, like at some point, like. But we were stuck in line to meet Linda Blair, so as soon as we had talked to Linda Blair and gotten our photo op and everything, I took off. I was like, all right, let's go find Sam so we can
Well,
get a
that
picture.
time we didn't know who was under there.
Yeah,
I thought it was a kid.
Yeah, we didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
It was short. It was a short person.
At the time, we thought it was a kid too, and she even had the little bitten lollipop.
Yes,
the little
I
jack o'
know, I
lantern
love
lollipop.
that.
Wow.
And I was like, I've got to take a picture with this, so we took off to go find her.
I'm just glad that we didn't run into too many clowns, because
There wasn't that many clowns.
I know.
I took
I'm
two
so
pictures though. With
happy.
some,
I know you
There
made
were-
me take pictures of clowns.
I saw
They're
two
funny.
Pennywise clowns. I saw one killer clown from outer space.
Oh, I think I saw them.
And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm taking pictures with them. But the best one the best costume I saw there had nothing to do with horror movies. It was the dude dressed as Shonuff
Oh yeah.
from The Last Dragon.
I didn't see him.
That was so awesome.
As soon as I saw the guy, I was like, he even had like the hair with the big ponytail like on top and
I didn't see him there.
the sunglasses.
Oh shit.
Like he had the sunglasses and everything like Shonuff. And I just walked right up to him. I was like, "Hey, show enough. Let me get a picture with you." And he like posed in the karate stance and everything. I was tempted. I was gonna be like, "Who's the master?" That was the best costume that I saw there. And then we saw that one Jack that was like with the big head.
Oh, with the giant head. We
Just-
couldn't even see.
It was ironic, just like Jack in the Box, the commercials where he has the big head.
Yes, that's exactly what it looked like.
Oh, Jack! I was thinking Jack Skellington.
No, it was
No,
Jack
it was
Skellington,
him.
but he had that huge
Oh,
giant
like Jack in
head,
the
like
Box?
Jack in the
Yeah.
Box.
That is awesome.
And his wife was giving him directions because he couldn't even see, like,
Yeah.
through
Wow.
the giant helmet or whatever he was wearing.
And I saw the best Jason costume I've ever seen. Some dude.
Oh, yeah.
Some dude was dressed like Jason. He looked exactly like the Jason from Freddy vs. Jason.
Mhm.
I mean, he had it down. He had like the skull, the head, the mask, the hair, and the dirty, ragged clothes and everything. Like he looked just. But the thing is, I was like, I have to take a picture with him. But the guy was shorter than me.
Yeah,
So-
I saw him too.
You
He
saw
was
him?
there Saturday.
So in the picture, I was trying to like squat down as best as I could. I was like, I'm getting a picture with this guy because he actually looks like the Jason from the movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing him. He was leaving while we were getting there, and to me, he looked like you said, just like him. The only thing that threw it out was the height. That's it.
Yeah.
But everything else to me, like wow, he did a good job.
Hmm.
And I don't think I ever saw him take off his mask while he was leaving, because you know how when you're leaving,
A lot of
they're
people
like,
were
oh, let me take it off. But no, I saw him leaving, and he was actually like going like that with the machete, like playing around, I guess, like he's like looking at people and like I'm gonna get someone.
He was a dedicated cosplayer. He stayed in
Yeah.
character till he got to the car. Well, and then remember the guy we saw as Deadpool? We saw two different Deadpools.
Yeah.
And one of them was like a kid, and his costume looked pretty good. And then, I don't know, some odd minutes later, we saw this other guy, taller, dressed, and he actually looked like the Deadpool from the movie.
Yeah, his costume looked really expensive.
So I was like, yeah, picture. I was like, photo up, photo up. I was like, chase down Deadpool. So we got a good picture with him.
And I saw this guy playing. I don't know if it's from Rick and Morty. I don't know if you've seen that show, the older one, and he was like playing him so well, like the way he screams and the way he's the doctor. I don't know if you've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
But he was like yelling at his son, I guess. I don't know, some. He's like, yeah. I was like, no. It was funny.
I want to say we saw somebody in those costumes, but I can't remember. There were a lot of costumes, and
Yeah. And I another thing that I found really good, I mean, there was a whole section of just artwork and
Hmm.
paintings and different types, and I was like, man, these artists take so much time to make these.
Yeah.
And I did get to buy a couple. Of course, like Damien said, with the other things, you just want to buy everything, but you just can't.
yeah,
It's just too expensive. But I did get some I guess different kinds of art, but like one of them's with all the characters for most of the slasher films, and then the other one's like 3 Jason, Freddy, and I forgot the other one, Michael Myers, I think, but they're dressed as bunnies, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, remember that one vendor like right towards the middle that had all the paintings, but they were like those blacklight paintings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, those were
remember those?
awesome. Yeah.
I was like, oh man, we should grab a couple.
Those
of
were
those.
actually made out of metal. I don't know if you
Oh, they
noticed.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're metal, so like
But that's what they were for, right? For
yeah,
to
and then it
reflect on
reflects
that
off
black
the
light.
black light. Yeah,
Because we have a black light in our room, so I was like, oh, we should get one of those.
yeah. But I think overall the con was really good. I mean, I've gone to other cons, and I guess it wasn't the best one I've been to. It is one of the best, but I think it's because Robert Englund wasn't there, and of course, you know, less people showed up probably, or less attractions. I did see this guy dressed as a Michael Jackson. I don't know if you saw him.
No.
No.
He was taking photos and he was even had his own booth. All he played during the whole thing was Michael Jackson music, and he was like going up to people trying to get his photo up with him. It was an impersonator, but he looked just like him, and he was like doing the moonwalk, like to try to get you to take a picture, and then he would do the spin, and then he would do the.
I wish we would have seen that.
Yeah, he was pretty funny, but overall, I think I give it a good A minus. For the con.
I had fun. It was a good experience. Like, cause we were, like I said, like it started out like sort of like on a down note. Like it was like, oh, like we're already standing in line, and we find out Robert England's not going to be there. But it turned out to be like a really good. We still had a great time. Like meeting those other celebrities was awesome. Like I felt very satisfied when we left.
Mm-hmm.
The vendors were awesome. The cosplayers were awesome. I had a good time.
Yeah, like you said, like we went in there already disappointed, but at the end of the night, we still ended up having a really good time. Because if we would have met him, we probably wouldn't have had as much time to meet all the other people that we got to meet. So it still turned out to be a really cool time.
I had a blast. You know, like I said, it was a lot of like. I remember it was cold outside.
It was nice.
Yes.
It was our first time in the Alamo Dome, and our first time using Uber to get there.
How was that?
I was scared. I was hoping that I wasn't gonna end up being chopped up.
Well, the dude,
guy, or what?
yeah, he picked us up at the hotel, but he couldn't figure out where to drop us off, and it wasn't. And but the thing
GPS
is, it wasn't his fault. It just wasn't organized very well.
Oh yeah. When we got there, we went through the vendor side. And the guy was like, "No, you gotta turn around and go to C through the C entrance." I was like, "Okay," but he was nice. He told us just take 3 rides and then it'll be on your right.
No, our driver kept getting like bad directions, like, and they didn't have a lot of signs out and stuff.
No, they didn't. That's weird, right?
And it was like when we finally got to the right place, it was just the guy was real simple about it. Remember, he was just like, that ramp right there, just drop them off right there. And then they just walked down right there, and then that was it.
Yeah.
That was already like the 3rd time. The guy was getting impatient already. Like,
well, yeah.
This is the 3rd time that somebody's told me. Like,
well, they had better handling of the event.
But once we got inside, it was great.
But they were strict though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no
they
bags.
were strict, like hardcore, like.
Understandably.
Which I understand, but they were checking costumes and they were actually, no, take it off. You need to take the headpiece you have on. Let me check it, like everything.
Yeah.
So those cosplayers that were wearing like all these different things, they were in line for quite a bit.
Yeah. And they had those metal detector things.
I know. I was like, geez.
They look through all your stuff.
And they're like,
with what's happened recently, I mean, I totally understand that they're taking extra
No,
precautions.
and I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, me too. It's when you have nothing to hide, then it's not a big deal, right?
It makes you feel safe.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And everybody at the con, I think, was really nice. Like, I didn't have a problem with anyone. I actually even won 2 tickets for the Extreme Escape. That's how we went, because it was pretty much free. I don't know if you guys went to that thing, the booth where you play a game, and it's a maze, and if you finish it within 25 seconds, you get a ticket.
Oh, cool.
But the guy was nice. He's like, well, I'll give you 2, because he saw me with Jessica, so he's like, yeah, you guys can go and check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, leave us a comment. We're the 3 Dudes of Horror. I'm Wormboy.
Damien.
And Toots. Just kidding.
Yeah, Toots is no longer with us. So.
Yeah, Toots has been replaced. He's not going to be here anymore.
He's in a better place. No.
So we replaced him with my beautiful wife.
In your face, Toots. In your face.